political situation approaching the presidential election on the upcoming month of July had an impact on investment climate in Indonesia. How does it affect the trend of investment, especially in the future exchange? Before talking more about this, let's take a look at this one. Many challenges are waiting for stock market players this year. Many sentiment from both internal and external would have potency to affect Jakarta Composite Index fluctuation and also the price of stocks in almost every sector. From Indonesia, political situation approaching the presidential election on the upcoming month of July had an impact on investment climate and capital market in Indonesia. In this election year, investors will wait and see on their investment until the presidential election is finished and the new president is elected. Investment climate in Indonesia has decreased because of the political situation influence. Investors were concerned about political situation which will affect their business activities and also economic policy that makes it difficult on investors to invest. For example, with uncertainty of fuel prices. If the macro policy has been disrupted, it is difficult to develop investment and business activities. Also, it will also impact on the decrease of foreign capital investment and domestic capital investment in Indonesia. This political situation also have an impact on the capital market in Indonesia. Investors were concerned about who is going to be president candidate, which should impact on fluctuations in the stock market and also bond market. Macroeconomy data, especially trade balance and also current account performance, which are still on deficit trend, also affect a market situation. Not only that, investors should be also anticipating rupiah exchange rate, which is still considered unstable yet. On the other hand, from the external sector, the stimulus tapering by the United States Federal Reserve still being one of the main concerns. Every meeting of the FOMC and also economy data released by the US have been always bringing impact on stock market. Not only from the US, every turmoil from other countries, such as conflict in Russia and Ukraine, could bring sentiment not only for European market, but also other regions, including Indonesia. How should be the strategy on stock market investment this year? How to manage a good portfolio? We will discuss about it on Revenues International. To discuss more about future investment in election year, we have Mr. Vicky Amarnani from Monex Investindo Futures. Good morning, Sir Vicky. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for coming to our show. So, how is the trend of investment environment right now?
Well, if you see in particular Indonesia, basically everyone are cautious with who's going to win the presidential elections because that's going to matter on the policy, what it'll favor, which industries, for example, the mining industry, the bans they have current on the ore export. All these things are important. So people are going to be more cautious, and investors now are well aware of the international markets as well.
Okay.
So if you say Indonesian market specifically for foreign direct investment, multinational companies setting up, they will be more cautious. But in terms of international investment, I think there is no impact. But maybe there is still impact on the stock market, the Indonesian stock market. But yet, Indonesian stock market has been performing very well, trading at the 4,800 levels. Although last year dropping down to as low as 4,000 when the panic was there, the rupiah was weakening. But now it's kind of stabilized at these levels.
Okay, so investment was still dominated by gold. How's the current fluctuation of gold investment?
Yeah, but I think if you talk about physical gold demand, there's been a huge demand for gold recently because there's been a big drop. If you realize because of the Fed tapering, the stimulus cut, improving in the US economy, inflation in US is still low, which is not good for gold because when there's high inflation, people buy gold. But even inflation has been low in the US. And why US is important for gold? Because gold international price is quoted in terms of US dollars, currently trading at $1,290 per troy ounce. So that all has been a negative for gold. But the drop from $1,924 per troy ounce, or about 35% drop to $1,290 now, it is attracting a lot of physical buyers, including central banks, retail buyers, institutions, hedge funds to accumulate gold slowly over here. But we need to understand that for the time being, with all the positive in the US dollar, gold is going to remain range bound in my view. In fact, a rally above 1,300 is a good time to sell. Yeah.
What should be anticipated by this?
I think my view basically of gold is limited upside, limited downside.
Okay.
If gold drops below 1,250, I think it's good levels to pick up. Because even, let's say, for example, Goldcorp, one of the biggest gold producers, for them to produce gold, actually their cost of pulling out the gold is about $770 per troy ounce. But with running their company, the administration, paying all their employees, staff, their cost of producing gold is $1,100 per troy ounce for 2013. So now we're trading at 1,290 when cost of production for big gold companies, small gold companies have higher cost price. At 1,100, I think there is limited downside. The low we saw basically last year was 1,180. We're just $100 off the low, but I think this low will remain. I think we'll trade above 1,200. But again, at levels of 1,390 to 1,418, there is good resistance. So to put it simply, the range for this year, a little wide, but it'll be 1,200 to 1,430 is the range that I see for gold.
What strategy should be used by those who choose gold as their investment instrument?
With the current trend now in gold, it's in a range bound, limited upside, limited downside. So I think the best strategy would be to trade gold.
Trade gold?
I would be very comfortable selling gold above 1,350.
Okay.
And I'll be very comfortable buying gold below 1,250. And we can trade this range. Of course, it is important to place stop loss levels in case it goes out of those ranges. But I think it's a beautiful range. But let's say for people who are not as speculative or traders and prefer investments, they need to understand that if you buy physical gold, don't buy jewelry. You're paying high design fee. Buy coins, buy gold bars. But you have to understand when you buy gold bars, the investment is 3 years or longer because the spread between the buy and sell is wide. And we need to understand that gold for the time being is in a range bound, but eventually it is going to go up, I believe, yes, because gold is a non-renewable resource with inflation going to pick up in the US. But basically you buy below 1,250 or below 500,000 rupiah for people who buy in Indonesia and accumulate slowly. Don't buy the whole amount now. Buy a little bit now. If it goes down lower, accumulate slowly. Yeah.
So, with the stimulus tapering by the United States Federal Reserve, do you think that it will affect gold price and also gold investment in general?
Well, if we talk about the whole tapering of 10 billion per month, now it's been reduced to 45 billion per month from a level of 80 billion, 85 billion. It is basically all priced in already. People have already forecasted that every month they'll reduce 10 billion. By the end of the year, stimulus will definitely be over. Rates may rise. Regarding interest rate rising, there's still speculation. Some saying mid-2015, some even saying 2016. But a lot of this is factored into gold price. That's why I mentioned to investors that, okay, if you look at it, gold doesn't look attractive at all. US dollar is strong. US is recovering. If interest rate rise in US, gold will go down because higher rates means stronger dollar. Gold has lost its safe haven appeal. People find US dollar more safe because it's the primary currency and with the volatility in gold. So with all these positive, but all this positiveness of dollar has been priced into the gold price dropping this low. So for people worried about buying gold at these levels, I'm pretty comfortable to say that we are near the bottoms. And over a period of 3 years, I believe we're going to see gold rally back up to the 1.8 levels. And within 5 years, I see new record highs on gold.
All right, interesting. We will continue discussing, but after the break.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Our discussion is about futures investment in election year, and we still have Mr. Vicky Almarnani from Monex Investindo Futures. So, Sir Vicky, what is the prediction of Monex about gold price and also the prospect of investment?
Well, I think generally everyone still has a bearish view on gold, with basically limited downside because it's already dropped so much. So again, I mean, back to the range bound 1,200 to 1,450 levels for the year. But basically there are many negatives which have already been priced in, like we discussed. So I think with gold, basically, if someone tells me, is it a better buy or sell? I would definitely at 1,350 say it's a stronger sell than a buy, basically.
Okay. Will it able to remain as a safe haven instrument?
Well, interesting. Now you're looking at the Russia-Ukraine problems going on with the referendum, you know, presidential elections again on 25th of May. A key date is also 11th of May, this Sunday. They want to have the referendum of the eastern states. This is all crucial, and people would expect gold to rally. Initially, when the Russia-Ukraine problem started, gold rallied up to 1,391. Okay. And then now, basically, it dropped below again 1,3. Yesterday, the tensions eased a bit. Gold dropped down $20. But you cannot see that panic that, oh, there's great panic here, let's buy gold. That is not there. It's not come back yet. eventually gold will start bringing demand, I think, slowly, because if you look at gold physical demand, it was up 17% last year.
Okay.
It is clearly because the price has dropped so much. In fact, supply has dropped 2%. And another interesting point is what is supporting gold price is also that middle class is rising.
Okay.
Middle class is rising in Indonesia, in India, in China especially. In fact, China's demand has already surpassed India. So all of the middle class growing is a very strong support for gold as well. Yeah.
Okay. So another favorite instrument in the futures investment is foreign exchange.
Yes.
How do you see the perspective of foreign exchange?
Well, I mean, if you see the foreign exchange market, it has just been growing. 5 years back, the volume was 3 trillion a day, 4 trillion. Now we've gone as high as 5.5 trillion per day for forex. Basically, what the volume that's there per day. I mean, that's way bigger than the stock exchange of US. So it is very popular because, first of all, there is a need for foreign exchange between countries, between banks. But if you talk even about trading, online trading, forex trading, it is very popular because businesses are tough now. I mean, I have seen a lot of investors switching into trading as a source of additional income.
Yeah.
If you see in the US, you see doctors and engineers trading to pay phone bills, electricity bills, it's just to pay off small bills. So it has become an interesting point, and it's very simple. All you need is you can trade from a mobile or your laptop, no expenses. You don't need a location, strategic location.
High technology.
No high technology. You just need laptop knowledge, and you can trade anywhere, anytime. It's so simple. The market is open 24 hours from Monday till Saturday morning. That it just makes it very simple for people to trade. Look for a few points, trade in and out of the market.
Okay. What currency is currently prospective to be collected?
Okay. Basically, I say it's the year of the dollar. Recently, the dollar has been weak. It gives an advantage to people buy dollars. Why has the dollar been weak with a lot of major currencies such as the euro, the sterling? Because, okay, there's been improvement in the euro area, but US actually, if you see last GDP, GDP only came out 0.1% growth the last first quarter. This was impacted by harsh winter in the US.
Okay.
Because of the harsh winter, it's affected the economy, but I think this is a temporary effect, and things will pick up again. And also with US, basically, 2008 crisis, people panicked. All money from developed nations came into countries like Indonesia. Indonesia benefited, Brazil, Russia, India, China. Now with the improvement in developed markets again and recovering, money is going back there again.
Yeah.
That is not good for us, basically. But the economy is improving, things are looking better, and US dollar will go up. You can see the stock market's earnings this quarter, 70% have posted earnings above expectations. Quarter after quarter, things are going well, economy is recovering, consumer confidence is all-time high, unemployment rate is down from 10% to 6%. And I always suggest people to diversify their portfolio, and definitely you should have at least minimum 20% of your portfolio in US dollars.
Okay. So what strategy needed for forex investment?
It depends. First of all, you have to determine what kind of a trader are you. Okay. Are you doing physical exchange? How much percentage do you need for business? Or is it pure speculation, pure trade? Everybody has different comfort levels. I may be more aggressive, you may be more conservative. Decide your trading strategy. What is your trading strategy? What is your goal? What is your entry-exit point? You have to determine everything. I always tell people you should maintain a trading journal where all your investments, your trades should be all noted down so you can monitor and evaluate your success as well.
So how to choose the right currency in the right time?
How do you?
How to choose the right currency in the right time.
Okay, there are basically fundamentals you can study and technicals that you can follow. Fundamentals and technicals have a nice combination together when you study both. So for this year, I would say buy US dollar. Some of my favorite currency pairs that I think will perform well this year is to buy dollar yen. I see dollar yen going to 110. Currently trading at the 101.50, 102 levels. Gold, I would range bound. Okay, but in terms of currency, I would definitely sell sterling US dollar, sell euro US dollar. I think the dollar is too weak. A good way of measuring the dollar is the dollar index. The dollar index currently is trading at 79.40. The dollar index is a measure of the dollar strength or weakness against a basket of major currencies such as the euro, Swiss francs. So with it being at 79.40, improving US economy, the range has been about 78 to 84.5. We're at 79.40. It's too cheap. I see dollar index breaking this high of 84 as well. So yeah, I think dollar yen buy, euros dollar sell, sterling dollar sell, buy US dollar physical for your portfolio. I mean, that's my view on the currency side.
What about commodities investment? How is the trend right now?
It's a bit weak with China slowing growth. I mean, China's still maintaining at above the 7% target, but growth has definitely slowed down a lot in China, and it's a big commodity market. So, I mean, my focus is mainly on gold and oil. Again, gold range bound. With oil is trading at about $100. I believe oil is, the fair value oil is $97 or lower. Why? Because crude oil inventory in the US is at all-time highs, like at about 35, 40 years high. Basically, the dollar is going to strengthen, which is negative for oil. But basically, with the oil supply that's out there in the market, and oil is a necessity for the economy. If oil price goes up too high, we can face stagflation in many countries like India, who are importers of oil. So oil price, when you see recently, because of the Middle East tensions, the problems that are there, we see oil spike up in the past to 110, 108, 110. They quickly come back down again. Now we are just almost towards fair level, but I think fair level is about $3 lower. But any rally above $1 or $3, I think is a good sell opportunity.
All right, Sir Vicky, we still have one more segment to discuss after the break.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We still have one more segment for discussion. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm still with Mr. Vicky Amarnani from Monex Investindo Futures, and we are talking about futures investment in election year. So, Sir Vicky, in this political situation, how to anticipate?
With Indonesian elections, basically, I would be out of the Indonesian stock market for sure. At levels of 4,800, the price to earnings ratio in Indonesian stock market is also very high. So the stock market would not be my preference at this point. I think investing into US dollar as a diversification is an important thing. If there is turbulence or volatility and we see the rupiah weaken, at least we have some hedge by buying US dollar, because when there's panic, the dollar strengthens. So definitely buy US dollar, accumulate gold slowly. I would rather wait for companies, businesses, investors, rather wait for the whole Indonesian election to pass, see the perspective, who's winning, what is he interested in. For example, if Jokowi, he's more of a people's person, he focuses on infrastructure, he wants to remove fuel subsidies. Is it Prabowo? Every different candidate has different views and different things they want to do for different industries. Depends what your focus is on, but I would rather not speculate at this point. Wait for a clarity and then invest for Indonesia itself. But globally, the markets are open 24 hours. You can trade anywhere, anytime.
Okay, so there's also CFD as an option of futures investment.
CFD share trading.
Yeah, which is less popular than gold on Forex. Could you explain us about the CFD trading? Okay,
I mean, CFD basically stands for contract for difference. Contract for difference. So CFD share trading, basically, it is trading stocks. You can trade US, Hong Kong, Japanese stocks with Monex. You trade these shares without actually owning the shares. So it is a derivative product that follows exactly the share price of the share. So for example, let's say you buy Microsoft at $30. You can buy the CFD share at $30. If Microsoft share goes up by 10% to 33, even the CFD share will trade at 33. It's exactly the same. If there is a corporate, if there's a stock split, if there is any corporate action, price goes up, price goes down, dividend payment, everything follows the same. But there are a couple of benefits with CFD trading. First of all, you're not required to use 100% of your margin. I mean, some stocks you believe will be well maintained, you can do it with trading 20%, 30% margin. In fact, CFD you can trade as low with 10% margin. So you could buy stocks of $10,000 with a margin of $1,000. But maybe it's a little tight. You should maintain 20–30%. Other benefits, dividends. A lot of people buy stocks to get dividend. If you buy, for example, US stocks, there's a dividend cut tax of 30%. Whereas when you buy CFD shares, there is no dividend cut. The payment is also earlier. So there are benefits like those which benefit, and this is what drives people towards CFD trading. But just to make a clear difference between the two, CFD trading is more for short-term trading because you do margin trading, you do incur overnight interest charge, but it's basically you can magnify your returns, higher return on investment, though your risks are higher as well. So those are two things that you have to balance out between.
So how's the prospect of the CFD investment in the future?
Okay, if that's like you mentioned, it's not as popular right now. Maybe one of the things I see in Indonesia is also a language barrier because the latest developments and news are in English. By the time it comes to Indonesian, it's quite delayed. There's a big lag. So people find it maybe a barrier because of the language. There are a lot of fundamentals you need to study compared to FX trading, where you can trade in and out of the market. But there is a lot of clarity as well in the stock markets. Once you understand the fundamentals of a company, you can measure the value. There is good money to be made. If you see last year, the Dow Jones was up 26, 27%. Some stocks even rallied up as 40%. So, but my suggestion is basically when you do CFD share trading, pick 2 or 3 stocks that you're comfortable with, understand their fundamentals and trade them. Don't trade like 10, 20 stocks, because then your focus is being divided across too many stocks.
Okay, what are the risks of investment in CFD?
The risk is leverage. Basically, if you, for example, let's say you buy the shares, you buy shares and you fully pay them, the shares fully belong to you. Whereas in CFD trading, you can trade with 10% margin to magnify or to increase your profits. But basically, the risk is that when there's volatility, you are basically controlling more money with less margin, which can be beneficial but needs to be well managed.
Okay, what are the strategies that should be used in CFD?
You could do it for dividend play. You could buy stocks because you don't get a 30% cut. Another benefit I'd like to also mention for CFD trading is that it is OTC product, over the counter. It doesn't go via the exchange. So that way you don't have to wait you don't have to be in a queue. When you want to hit the order, it gets done. Whereas when you trade through an exchange, what happens is that if there's a long queue, a lot of people trading, you have to be filled. Sometimes you get partially filled. Your whole order doesn't get done. Whereas when you trade CFD trading, because it's an OTC product, it gets done immediately.
Okay. Last question, Sir Vicky. With some cases of investment such as fraud, how should the investor choosing the instrument pattern?
I think with fraud, it's not the instrument, it's more with the company you're dealing with. You have to make sure that they have the proper licenses. Like, for example, in Indonesia, if you trade Forex commodities or indices, you should make sure that they have a license by Bapepti, KBI, and BBJ. These are the 3 most important licenses. You can also see the credibility of the company. For example, Monex. Monex possesses all the 3 licenses. It operates 19 branches in Indonesia, has been in business for 14 years. Yesterday was our birthday. So these are important facts that investors should check before they invest their money there. In terms of product, you should have a good trading plan, manage your risk. I always say your risk to reward should be attractive. I will only enter a trade where my reward is more than my risk. But a lot of people get emotional. When you have losses, you don't want to take them. Little profit, you take them. So you should have a good trading plan, good risk management policy before you start investing.
All right, Sir Vicky, thank you so much for your time sharing with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was Mr. Vicky Amarnani from Monex Investido Futures talking about futures investment in election year. And up next, we will have some more news and business updates. Stay with Rabbah News International.